Afternoon, everyone. Robert Rutledge, RUTLEDGE, Staff Sergeant, Organized Crime Response Unit. I'll just read a quick prepared statement and answer any questions you may have. The Calgary Police Service Vice Unit has charged 3 men in connection with prostitution and human trafficking. On Thursday, May 30th, the 3 men were arrested in a vehicle in the downtown core as part of an investigation into the alleged trafficking of a 17-year-old girl and a 19-year-old woman. Police believe that both women were being prostituted via an online advertising site. Darlene Lavreau, 26, has been charged with trafficking a minor, receiving material benefit from trafficking in a minor, living off the avails of a prostitute under 18, living off the avails of a prostitute, and unlawfully keeping a bawdy house. Frederick Manot, 24, has been charged with trafficking in a minor, receiving material benefit from trafficking in a minor, living off the avails of a prostitute under 18, and unlawfully keeping a bawdy house. Andy Affriany-Fafard, 23, has been charged with unlawfully keeping a bawdy house. Mr. Lavreau and Mr. Manot have been remanded in custody and will make court appearance June 11th and June 13th, respectively. Mr. Affriany-Fafard has been released on bail and is next due in court June 28th of this month. And that's it for my prepared statement.
Where are the accused from?
We believe that all 3 of the accused are from Montreal.
How long have they been here?
We believe they've been here for at least 2 months.
And do they have a history, like elsewhere in Canada of doing this kind of thing?
Not that we're aware of.
Where were the girl and the women from? Were they brought here from elsewhere in the country? Can you explain, I guess, how they came to be with these guys?
The 2 victims are from the Calgary area and knew each other prior to our investigation, and we're still investigating how they came to be associated with the 3 accused.
The 2 women knew each other, or the 2 women knew the guy?
The 2 women knew each other.
Did one of them entice the other one to get into the business?
Well, that's still under investigation, Nadia.
Can you say like how police came to kind of be investigating? Like did the 17-year-old, her family report missing or something?
No, this investigation was solely initiated by the Vice Unit. We conducted a reverse sting. We've been monitoring the online advertising sites, so we rented a hotel room and started setting up dates. And the first date we set up happened to be the 17-year-old victim, and the investigation went from there.
And so at that time, did she disclose to police that
Yes.
she was being held?
Immediately, once the officers identified themselves, she broke down and has been very cooperative.
And so from that time, did she have to go back with them, or did police help her out? at
No,
that
no, we immediately apprehended her under the PSACA legislation, and once we finished interviewing her, we transported her to a safe and secure location.
Are there any allegations that the older woman has been trafficked or coerced in any way, or are they just sort of the charges in connection with her just the living off the avails of the bawdy house?
Yeah, for the older one at this point, like I said, the investigation is still ongoing, but the charges in relation to the 19-year-old victim are living off the avails. So she's the victim of living off the avails and keeping common bawdy house.
So the 17-year-old, you said, like how long had she been held for?
The 17-year-old had been doing this approximately 1 week before we intervened, and we believe the 19-year-old about 6 to 8 weeks.
And what are the allegations so far as what kept them trapped?
Well, it goes back to the human trafficking charge. It's the exploitation, right? They're being recruited, transported, received, and then we for the purpose of exploiting them. And they have to provide a service, whether it's labor or a sexual service for fear for the safety or the safety of someone they know if they fail to provide that service or
So
labor.
for the young girl, if you can just elaborate a little bit, would she have had, it's not like she had bars physically around her. What would have kept her?
No, just
She was obviously very happy to see police.
absolutely.
What kept her there before
Well, the three males, basically strangers to her. She knew them for less than a week, and the psychological imprisonment that she was under.
So you don't know how she met them though? Like, was it at a bar or like?
No, it's still under investigation.
Is it like we were trying to warn people about what to avoid? Like, was she living on the streets?
No, she has both have families here, and it's when you go back to this human trafficking thing, it's and I'll speak generally, not specifically about this case as we're still investigating and it's before the courts now. Typically it's the boyfriend, it's the guy that comes in and offers to buy him jewelry, phones, clothing, take him away from a lifestyle that they're not happy in, and then things go worse from there.
So if police wouldn't have done that sting operation,
She'd still most likely be out there working away, or if not in this city, in another city.
and so where is she now?
Well, the 17-year-old gets apprehended, so she goes to a safe and secure environment where she can see clinicians, doctors, counselors, and then it's up to the courts to decide how long she's going to be confined. Under Alberta legislation, they can be confined up to 47 days in total.
And so from there, like, did she give the addresses and the names of these other people?
So when we set up the sting, we apprehended her. Investigation led to another location in downtown Calgary. We set up on that location, stopped the vehicle associated to who we believed was involved in this investigation, and took people into custody, and then we executed a search warrant on that residence, and that's where the common body house charge comes from.
And so was she being held at hotel or was she at that common body house?
She was doing both. The girls were doing both in-calls and out-calls. So that means, they were using the place downtown to see dates, as well as, in this case, we set up the hotel room, but she was seeing other customers in hotel rooms.
Can you tell us a little bit about the body house, and was it an apartment that was set up strictly for this purpose, or a little bit about what you found?
This set up to for both, for the sexual purposes, as well as for people to crash or to sleep there once there was no dates in the queue. So, there was typical body house evidence found: the condoms, the lube, the lingerie, things of that nature.
And can you say, was it hotels throughout the city or is there one specific area that they were using?
Generally, it's hotels throughout the city. It's not, specific to one chain. It's throughout the city.
Now, I know that the allegation of trafficking connotes, in a lot of cases, but not always, transportation and movement between cities. What kind of evidence do you have whether that was going to be the case here? These guys are from Montreal. They seem to be here for a little while. Was there any evidence that these women may have been on the move at some point, or that these guys themselves were mobile and doing this in different places?
We believe when we apprehended these individuals, they'd found out that we'd come across a 17-year-old, and they had quickly packed up, their belongings and were on the move. Where they were going, we're not sure, but we believe that these individuals have other girls out there working for them. So we're vigorously investigating that aspect of it.
How many other women do you think, or are they underage potentially, that you're looking for?
We have no indication that the other ones are underage, but probably at least 2 or 3 more that we're looking for.
And was any female with them when they were arrested?
The second victim was with them.
And is it possible that when you say they packed up their belongings, were on the move, is it possible they were leaving the city?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you have any idea where they were headed for?
We don't.
Can you tell me, have we ever had, I know it was several years ago, we had the first human trafficking charge laid here in Calgary. Have we had any convictions?
No convictions yet. I believe that one was still before the courts because of the Bedford decision.
Do you have any idea how many Johns that the 17-year-old would have had to see in the week that she was held?
She's telling the investigators lots, so I'll leave it at that.
Like
lots. So
Sorry, I know you spoke to this, but if you could just add a little more color, you said that the first call that police had was the 17-year-old girl, and very quickly when they identified themselves, she told her story. Can you just tell me a little bit about, you said she broke down.
right, well, so to advertise on these online sites, you have to be 18 or older. So the vice investigators are generally looking at the ads to see, you know, is that person under the age of 18, older than 18? This particular victim was being advertised as 19 years of age. And it's my understanding when she came into the room, the investigators immediately knew she wasn't of age, and and then she immediately broke down and cry for help. So.
So do they actually post their photos on these online sites?
Yeah, the photos are there. Usually they're blacked out in some fashion, or she'll have her head turned, or yeah.
Is this a site specifically catered to this sort of thing, or are we talking Craigslist or Kijiji? Or
Yeah, there's many
Or
online.
This particular case.
Yeah, it's Craigslist. Yeah, but it's one of many. I
They
mean,
use more than one site?
absolutely. Yep. You see, we find many of the ads on several different sites.
Okay, so you said this one was a reply to a Craigslist ad?
Correct. Oh, sorry, not Craigslist. Backpage. Yeah, we don't see much on Craigslist these days. Backpage.com.
And so that's, would people look under escort or?
Yep. Yes. I mean, Backpage.com. I mean, there's many different legitimate advertising services on there.
Was this a young girl, would she have been threatened, would she have been assaulted, would she have had her money taken from her? What are the sorts of, when you talk about the psychological environment, what are the sorts of things that trapped her?
Yeah, they're generally not allowed to keep any money. Threats, and it doesn't have to be, a direct threat like I'm going to kill you. There might be, weapons shown, or they might talk about it. The accused might talk about it amongst themselves, and loud enough for the victims to overhear.
And is this getting to be more common with the online rather than, having girls out on the street?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Can you maybe explain, is that the reality in town? We're not seeing as much on strolls?
Well, the reality is, North American wide, is the strolls, as we call them, are diminishing, and the online escort sites are flourishing.
Okay, any other questions? Thank you very much.
What was the legislation she was at? Was it
PSECA. PSECA. It stands for Protection and Sexually Exploited Children Act. If you just Google PSECA, Alberta, it'll come up.